The whole building process was so meaningful to me. I had so much support from my family and friends and community, and it really was a group endeavor. I did not have any construction experience aside from working on a few different farms and kind of doing some odd jobs here or there. And so I had a lot of help from different friends who pitched in a lot of work, showed me, you know, a lot of different skills, and my dad helped me out a lot. He had a lot of the tools and some of his friends, and so it was a huge learning curve, and that was definitely one of the reasons that I wanted to build it, to learn. I'm Anna, and this is my Toyota Tacoma truck. Her name is Stevie, and this is the garden shed. It took me about 5 months last fall and winter to build, and I've been living in her ever since. People often ask me if I fit in the bed, and it is true, I do. It's 5'5", I'm 5'3", so there's just a little bit of wiggle room. And then it actually folds out. There are a couple hinges, and so if I want a little bit more space, I can fold it out, and then there are 2 legs that attach for some extra support. The mattress is a foam topper, mattress topper that I just cut in half, and it's quite cozy. So underneath the bed I have a couple more baskets of clothes, and then I have my cooler here. Slide that out. When thinking about a heat source, I decided to go with the Cubic Mini. This is the Cub version. It's a Canadian company that builds these, and it provides a really dry heat, so once again helping with moisture, keeping everything super dry. I found that using kindling in a combination with Presto logs burns really evenly and for quite a while, so that's usually the combination that I use. I was recently up skiing at Baker for a couple of days, and I had a little clothesline going, had my gloves, wet socks, and kept everything super toasty. So as a beginning carpenter on a shoestring budget, I went back and forth about putting in a secondary battery and getting solar panels, and just decided that it would wait for another day. So I don't have any electricity back here. I use battery operated lights. I've got the battery operated fairy lights. I use that, and then just a battery pack for charging my phone. So as far as insulation goes, all of the surfaces have insulation: the floor, the ceiling, the sides. It's 1-inch hard insulation that I cut and put into every nook and cranny. And when I finished building it in January, I didn't really have a frame of reference for how well it worked, but actually this summer when I was working on the farm, I would come back here for lunch or sleep in it, hang out, and it stayed really cool. And so that was kind of more of an indicator for me that the insulation really did a good job, is that it keeps it super warm in the winter but also cool in the summers. Something that is always on my radar living in a super rainy place is moisture and keeping any sort of mold at bay, and one of the most important things about that is keeping airflow, circulation, and so having the ceiling vent has been a really important factor in just keeping the air moving. For water, got this container here, usually lasts me about a week. That lives here. I keep my stove down here, which is the Eureka 2 burner. That's a propane stove, and it works amazing. It's nice, it's a little bit smaller, pretty compact. And then I've got this basket, which has all of my dishes and whatnot. I used to think that I needed multiple pans, multiple pots, but it turns out one cast iron and a pot will do the trick. Over here I've got towels, little tiny garbage cans, some odds and ends. This is kind of my kitchen zone. Earlier this fall, I bought a new pair of skis and was trying to figure out where I could put them, and ended up just relying on some good old bungee cords to do the trick, and it's been a great storage spot for them. Living in here full-time, one of the things that was important to me was still having pretty things to look at, having all my favorite art in here. One of my friends was giving me a hard time the other day because I have no bowls. All my bowls broke, but I do, however, have 6 mugs, which double as bowls. And they've been collected all over the place from different spots that I've traveled, and just make me really happy. So living in the Pacific Northwest, where there are 4 seasons, I need a little bit of a variety of clothing, and so I have sweaters, t-shirts, all that stuff in here, and then I have a few other baskets underneath for some pants and other odds and ends. This is where I keep all of my food. I just went to a thrift store, found a bunch of baskets, and then in here is my gear shed. So got all my backpacking stuff. For a small spot, it actually pretty much holds everything that I need. Biggest obstacle when thinking about putting a structure on the back of the truck was obviously the weight, and so we added a leaf to the suspension, and that helped carry the weight of the camper as well. But just when sourcing different materials, that was a big question as far as what would keep it lightweight. And so at first I was thinking about doing all cedar shingles on the exterior, but decided to do a mix with the aluminum, which I think also looks really nice. And then it's a galvanized steel roof, and all of the framework inside as well is wooden 2x4s. So the windows, took a little brainstorming. I looked into doing house windows, but those were pretty heavy, and so decided to do a RV window that opens, so it allows some ventilation on either side, as well as keeps it very lightweight. Obviously, a really important factor was figuring out how to attach it to the bed of the truck, and so a 2x4 we attached to the front, the actual bed of the truck, and then bolted this to that, and then we have 2 turnbuckles on either side that are tightened to hold her in place as well. The door was the best birthday present I ever received, and it's a Dutch door, so you can still get in if the tailgate is up. You just open the top, and then if you want full access, you can open that and bring this out, and it's bolted here if you want just a full door completely put together. Regular key lock, you got a bolting lock up here, and then another lock down here as well. The window is made out of plexiglass, this one and then the one that looks into the truck. They're both made from plexiglass. I definitely, when I came up on a year of living in this, I definitely was kind of reevaluating some things and just decided that the freedom this lifestyle provides is worth you know, some of the inconveniences that it also offers. And so I definitely think for the foreseeable future, I'll be living in this. I'm really looking forward to checking out some other places to ski this winter, and yeah, just taking it one day at a time.